It is the year 2025, and Doctor Who has just released the 15th series of New Who. Viewership is low, division between fans is high. You may be asking, how did we get into this mess? How did Doctor Who's reputation get so low? Well, I may have some answers. In 2005, Doctor Who came back proper from a 16-year hiatus, bringing in a new Doctor, a new production and writing team led by showrunner Russell T Davies, with a fresh vision for the show. Let's put a pin in this and come back to it later. In 2005 to 2010, Doctor Who's average viewership per episode was 7.72 million people. That's just over a tenth of the population of the UK, tuning in weekly for episodes. But fast forward to today, and the viewing figures for the latest series is 2.34 million, which is a significant decrease, even less than Jodie Whittaker's tenure. This brings me on to my first reason why I think Doctor Who has gone downhill: the writing. Just like in Whittaker's run, I think the show suffers from poor writing. Now, when I say this, I mean the plot of the series and the writing of some individual episodes. My first example I would like to call into question is Series 15. The whole arc hinges on Belinda Chandra making her way home to her family after getting abducted. This premise is very interesting as it's a new dynamic for an overarching companion. We kind of saw this with Donna Noble in Series 2 episode 14 when she's an unwilling companion of the TARDIS. I think this concept works and is an interesting dynamic as the Doctor wouldn't immediately get the urgency to go back.
Now get me home. 24th of May 2025. My shift starts at 7:30 a.m. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but we don't need to rush. 'Cause Time Lord, time machine.
You tested my DNA without even asking my permission. God. You're dangerous. I am not one of your adventures. Now I'm asking you, Doctor, to do the right thing.
I will take you home.
This is because new companions are normally unsure to begin with, and then, as soon as they see the TARDIS and all the perks that go with it, they are amazed and sold on the idea of travelling with the Doctor.
Since you saved my life and I've got a brand new sonic screwdriver which needs road testing, you might fancy a trip.
What, into space? But I can't. I've got exams. I've got things to do. I have to go into town first thing and pay the rent. I've got my family going mad.
If it helps, I can travel in time as well.
That was this morning. But did you... Oh my God, you can travel in time. Your spaceship's made of wood. There's not much room. We'd be a bit intimate.
Take a look.
Fire up the helmet regulator. And finally,
The handbrake.
ready?
No.
Rory was another companion that was reluctant to go along with the Doctor. Rory saw the Doctor for who he really was.
Rory,
This is your fault.
I'm so sorry, but Rory...
No, this is your fault! You should look in a history book once in a while, see if there's an outbreak of plague or not.
That is not how I travel.
Then I do not want to travel with you!
Going back to the plot, Belinda is warming to the Doctor after going on a series of adventures after the TARDIS struggles to land on Earth in the correct time. But ultimately her main focus is that she wants to go home to her family. This is until the last two episodes where uncertainty in the future of the show led to changes in the script and reshoots. During the final two episodes, Belinda and the Doctor are put into a wish world where they are forced into a relationship with a child. After escaping this fake version of Earth, Belinda, after knowing she is trapped in a world and a situation that she doesn't want, suddenly has her reality changed to where whenever she mentions going home to her family, it was replaced to her now fictitious daughter.
Now get me home. 24th of May 2025. My shift starts at 7:30 a.m. Thank you very much.
And I had to get back home, because that was the point. All this time, I had to be here, in this house, at 7:30 a.m. on the 24th of May. Remember? I kept telling you every time we landed.
Doctor, I told you, get me home. 24th of May, 2025. I need to get back for Poppy. Never mind Miami. Poppy's waiting for me. My daughter. Will I never see her again? Never mind Happy New Year. I've got to be home for Poppy on May the 24th. If I'm not back by 7:30, I'm in trouble. I can't wait for you to meet Poppy. She's so cheeky.
So you were always coming home for Poppy?
Exactly.
Now this wouldn't be so much of a problem if it wasn't obviously a reshoot and change of script after the Ncuti Gatwa decided to leave, and if it was hinted properly into the story, this would have been better. This brings me neatly onto my next point, Disney. In this section I want to talk about Disney and its effect on the show. Now I'll tell you how Doctor Who got on Disney's new streaming service, Disney+. Cast your mind back to 2022, Jodie Whittaker's era was set to end and rumours of a Disney deal were circulating. This deal was rumoured that Disney would acquire international streaming rights and they would give Doctor Who a higher budget. Many fans were sceptical as they were worried that Disney would interfere with the episodes and that Doctor Who would become Disneyfied. But at the same time there were thousands of fans that were ecstatic because the deal said that it would be easier to stream all over the world. I fell into both camps as I was worried that Disney would ruin Doctor Who and its distinctly low budget and British feel, but I was also excited about it being more easily accessible to the masses. Fast forward to 2023 and the first of the 60th anniversaries came out on both BBC and Disney. As soon as the special started you could see the budget changes and the increase in CGI. But the episodes themselves were quite grounded in their stories and what we were used to. It wasn't until Christmas Day where the first Ncuti Gatwa Christmas special came out and you could feel the vibe was different, at least to me. The show became more about fantasy and magic rather than science fiction. Now I quite liked the Ncuti Gatwa era as a whole, as I thought there were amazing episodes like The Well, as it perfectly captured the anticipation of what the monster was, but also how well it played on our fears of what we cannot see. I also liked how it represented the deaf character, that it didn't dwell on the fact that she was deaf, but it incorporated it nicely into the story. But I am also not afraid to criticise the parts of the series I did not like that much, like the last 2 episodes of the series, and how I think some episodes struggle with their messaging, as this is how the show grows and gets better. But I definitely think there was a tone shift, as halfway through the first solo Gatwa episode there was a song break which felt needlessly put in, a very Disney thing to do.
Cause the Goblin King, oh the Goblin King, it's so good to meet you, you great big thing. I can see you're having a fun day, meet my friend, she's Ruby Sunday.
It's good to meet you, good to greet you, good to say how diddly did you. It's my birthday, my oh my, I'm 50 miles.
Then 2 episodes later there was another unexplained song and dance break in The Devil's Chord.
There's always a twist at the end. There's always a twist, there's always a twist, there's always a twist at the end. Pretend to send lands and we do it then, cause there's always, yes there's always a twist at the end.
Now I think these 2 events were fine as they were somewhat isolated events that were a bit goofy. I also think that the song and dance break in The Devil's Chord, if given a bit more context, would be fine, as the whole episode surrounds the context that music has gone funny. Getting back on track, you could definitely see an overuse of CG on these previous 2 series. To me, this made the show look a bit too polished and sometimes quite unsettling, as these goblins can show you. To me, Doctor Who was more practical effects and rugged costumes than CG. The CG for most episodes were not the focus of the story but tools to help the story, where in later series it seems to be the other way around. This brings me to a side point. Earlier I said that RTD brought a fresh vision for the show in 2005. Well, this was true. In this pitch document I found in Doctor Who magazine from June 2005, he outlined his wants to not dwell on the past and, quote, The fiction of the Doctor has got 40 years of backstory, which we'll ignore except from the good bits. And the most important thing is that this mythology is discovered as new by Rose. This gave the revival a new lease of life, as it meant that the Doctor could become mysterious again without having to fit 40 years of narrative exposition in. When coming back to the show around 10 years later, he must have forgotten his approach. As in the new series, we have too many recurring characters from the classic show, and also the recent past. We had characters like David Tennant, though not a character, he came back, the Toymaker, Beep the Meep, Mel, Susan, Sutek, Omega, and so on and so forth. It's too much too soon. Regarding David Tennant, the Toymaker, and Beep the Meep, I think they are great cameos for the 60th anniversary, as they represent the fact that the show has a long history and celebrates it. But when it started happening every 2 episodes, it felt like the show had no inspiration and no vision for where it wanted to go. Anyway, in this run of Doctor Who, Disney commissioned 26 episodes of Doctor Who, 2 Christmas episodes, 2 series of Doctor Who, and 1 series of a new spin-off show. Now you may be thinking, there's no way you can fit that much content of Doctor Who in so few episodes, and you'd be right. A standard series of Doctor Who is 13 episodes, 14 including the Christmas special. That already takes up the 26 episode runtime that Disney paid for. So instead they butchered the 13 episode series and made 2 8-episode series. Now this is not enough episodes, it makes the series feel incomplete, it rushes the story and arc. Any chance of character growth feels rushed as of the constrained time frame. I could go on talking about Doctor Who forever, but unfortunately it's about time we end. I have a lot more points and a lot more reasons of the points I've mentioned why Doctor Who I feel has gone downhill in the recent years. But it wouldn't do them justice by just quickly mentioning them, and my thoughts are a lot more complicated and need the time to breathe. All in all, these are the reasons why I think Doctor Who has gone downhill in these particular 2 series.